Karunasindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopi Andarada Namaste Tapta Kandana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhana Sube Devi Pranamami Hariti Vancha Kalpadara Vaisha Kripasindhu Devaja Aditana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhudale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaram Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashati Deshna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Puranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we stopped with this sloka. We discussed this one, right? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gabhihastini Shuri Chaiva Swapakeja Pandita Samadarshana. So we also discussed that here it said a gentle Brahmana and a cow is in Sattaguna, elephant is in Rajaguna, dog and a dog each or a Chandala is in Tamoguna. But still a Pandita who have lot knowledge sees everyone equal because he sees the Paramatma in everyone's heart. And we discussed Srila Prabhupada's quality on this, right? Vidya Vinaya Sampani. Also, this is the quality of a sadhu. Vidikshva Karunika Sutta Sarvatehina Achada Shatra Vashabda Sadhava Sadhu Bhushana. Right? Titikshva means tolerant. Karunika is mercy. Suhrida Sarvatehina. He is friendly to all living entity. He is not friendly only to the living human beings. He is friendly even to the animals. So he doesn't kill them. Ajata Shatra. He doesn't have any enemies. He is peaceful. Actually, who is our real enemy? You can unmute and say, who is our real enemy and the only enemy?
Mind.
Lost.
No, the mind, not lust. Lust and all comes from the mind, but then mind is the uncontrolled mind. Mind is our only enemy. That's what Prahlad Maharaj said to Hiranyakashipu, right? Hiranyakashipu was searching for Vishnu, saying that he's my enemy, he's my enemy. But then Prahlad Maharaj said, there's only one enemy. Who's that? Your own mind. Uncontrolled mind is our enemy. So actually, for a pure devotee, when the mind is a friend to him, why? Because he controlled it. Right? So he has no enemy. And Shanta, he's peaceful. He abides with the scriptures. So all these are the characteristics of a pure devotee. So we saw the examples of Srila Prabhupada, but Jesus Christ was also like that. When he was crucified, what did Jesus Christ pray for when he was crucified?
Oh Lord, please forgive them.
Forgive them, they don't know what they are doing.
You need to raise your digital hand before speaking. And what happened to Haridas Thakur? Okay, so Jesus Christ said, please forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. Yes, Manasi, what did Haridas Thakur say?
Mataji, he said that these people don't have they don't know what is right. So, oh Lord Krishna, please forgive them.
Yes.
And give
so
them
Haridas
right
Thakur
knowledge.
was beaten in 22 marketplaces because he chanted the holy name. And then, but he was not getting the beatings. Actually, what was happening? He never got any pain. Does anyone know? Actually, Haridas Thakur felt, yes, Kanjan Matsi. Yes, Mataji. Can't hear you. Kanjan Matji, Hare Krishna. Okay, Supriya Mataji.
Mataji, he was in extreme ecstasy, samadhi, so he didn't realize that the people are beating him.
Yeah, he was in samadhi. Yeah, but actually, Lord.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Kanjan Matji.
Mataji, actually, it is said that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come from Goloka and hugged him, and he was actually getting the beatings, all the beatings.
Yeah. Yes. So actually, Haridas Thakur were praying to Lord to forgive those people who were beating him. And Mahaprabhu went and embraced him so that Mahaprabhu took the beatings and Haridas Thakur felt as if some feather touch. He didn't actually feel the beatings because yes, he was in ecstasy also, but Mahaprabhu protected. Okay, there was marks on Mahaprabhu's back. He was protecting his devotee. So yes, even Haridas Thakur is a great soul as a Pandita. Prahlad Maharaj the same way, and the Pandavas also. How much of a problems they had to face, they were still Samadarshina. Ihaivatayirjita sarvo yesha samyestitam manaha nirdosham hi sama brahma tasmad brahmani te ishtitaha Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in birth. So a self-realized soul have no attraction or hatred to the matter. Why? Because he knows everything is temporary. Thus he is flawless and impartial like the Lord. The Lord is also impartial, right? Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshena sthina priya eva chintitu mam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyaham. Krishna says, I am equal to everyone. I'm not partial to anyone. But Krishna is partial to his devotees, right? Now, how do you counteract that? Is that partiality? Krishna is protecting his devotees. Yes, Kanjan Mataji.
Mataji, Krishna is reciprocating with devotees. Their
Yeah,
love and all. He's
Yeah,
reciprocating.
reciprocating. Yes, Supriya Mataji, what is the other way? Say it.
Devotees are calling the Prabhu to protect them, Mataji, every time. But other people don't
Yeah,
call the
so devotees call the Lord and they're dependent on the Lord, no? Like a young child who's dependent on the parents. So, and he is very merciful and he is reciprocating. Yes, how we approach Krishna reciprocates the same way. But the devotees always chant the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and call the Lord. And the Lord is, they are dependent on the Lord, so Lord takes special care of them. That doesn't mean the Lord doesn't like the other non-devotees. No, he likes them, but then special care because they are dependent on Krishna. So importance of equanimity is shown at such a stage. One is considered to have conquered material conditions, especially birth and death. The Lord, on the spiritual platform, they are free from all attraction and hatred. This makes living entity eligible for spiritual sky. Yes, Sonia Mataji. You have some network issue. Okay. Naparashye priyam prapya no dvije prapya cha priyam stira buddhir asammudo brahma vidhamani stitaha. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor lament upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, who knows the signs of God, is already situated in transcendence. So you should know the signs of God. That's what Mahaprabhu said. Hiba vipra kibanya sishu drukene naya. Hey Krishna Tattva Vete say Guru Hai. It doesn't matter you're a sannyasi, you're a grihastha or a shudra. What matters is A Krishna Tattva Vete. If you know the signs of Krishna, the signs of God, then you can become Guru. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this to whom? Does anyone know? Sonia Mataji, you know? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this to? Nobody knows? No idea? Yes, Prafulla Mataji. You can unmute.
To Sanatan Goswami.
No. Not to Samananda. Yeah, this one. Kanjan Mataji got it right. Lavanya Mataji got it right. To Ramananda Rai. Okay. So he said to Ramananda Rai, when Ramananda Rai, that's Vishaka Saki, when Ramananda Rai came to talk to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to meet Ramananda Rai, and Ramananda Rai was a governor, he is a grihastha and shudra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a brahmana, sannyasi. So Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai to speak about devotional service, because in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita and Arjuna listened. And in Kali Yuga, when the same Arjuna came as Ramananda Rai, Krishna wanted him to speak and Krishna can listen. So that time, Ramananda Rai said, how can I speak? I'm just a Shudra, I'm a Grihastha, and I'm not qualified to speak. And Mahaprabhu says, Kiba Vipra, it doesn't matter you're a Shudra, Brahmana, Sannyasi. What matters is, if you know the signs of Krishna, then you can become Guru. So then Ramananda Rai started speaking on devotional service. Bahyasparsheshva asaptatma vindati atmani yat sukham sabrahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. So he's having unlimited happiness. That is called Param Drishta Nivartande. Like you taste gulab jamun, then you don't feel like tasting anything else, because the taste is like what do you say, stay high forever. Does anyone know that story of Srila Prabhupada, the pastime? Where Prabhupada says, stay high forever.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhupada.
When the hippies wanted to stay forever by taking marijuana and those things, then Prabhupada told that if you chant Hare Krishna, then I will guarantee that you will stay high forever.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, so because when they take the drugs, what happens? That the state of tranquility that losses, and then again they have to take the drugs. So Prabhupada's like, why you're taking drugs again and again? Because it's material, the taste is getting lost. So don't do that. What you do is chant the holy name or take Harinam, because this is like staying high forever. That is, you don't no more coming down to the conscious level will not change. So then they started writing a pamphlet, and then so that Prabhupada can give a lecture. And then they made a small poster saying, stay high forever. And then A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami giving lectures on that. And then that was posted and then printed and given to everyone. So that all the hippies came, many of the hippies came. Yeah, the book also, The Higher Taste. But this is like stay high forever. It's a notice which Prabhupada wrote. Yes, that's a higher taste, definitely Param Drishtvani Bhaktande. So once the news reporters asked, how do you know about the drugs? Because you never used the drug. Prabhupada's like, I don't have to use it. I have seen people who have used it. And now, if you're really intelligent, you should just listen to the Shruti Praman. If a child is said that don't touch the fire, it'll burn. If the child is intelligent, just by listening to the parent, it won't touch. But if the child is not intelligent, go and touch and then experience the burning sensation, and then will realize. So in Shabda Praman, if you realize by just words, that's enough. You don't have to realize through experience. If you're intelligent. So that's why the Shrutis and Smritis, the Shastras are like we are experiencing through hearing. Okay. So then Prabhupada said, see, I know. Okay, but then initially that's why some have a misconception that the Hare Krishnas were that drugs. Even now when youngsters join ISKCON, the parents are so worried, because what if the child become brahmacharis, doesn't get married? There are so many grihasthas in ISKCON, and also they think that they become detached and then they go into drugs. And another movie also came, and there was a song Hare Krishna Hare Ram, and then Prabhupada, the disciples were so disturbed. Prabhupada, the movie came about the Hare Krishnas. Now what to do? Prabhupada's like, the movie will perish. I mean, the actors, directors, producers, everyone will die, but the Hare Krishna Hare Ram will stay. And everyone, the whole country was singing that tune, humming that song Hare Krishna Hare Ram. And Prabhupada's like, good, everyone is chanting Hare Krishna Hare Ram, at least like that. And now what happened? Only Hare Krishna Hare Ram stayed and everything else was lost. So this is what will happen. So they have a misconception, so much misconception about ISKCON in a general population. So they get worried when we say we are going to ISKCON, and they stop you from going. But actually that obstacle is also a blessing for you. Because you have a blessing, you have an obstacle in your devotional life, you become more serious. You feel like doing bhakti more and more because of that obstacle. If obstacles were not there, then you will be having a relaxed life. And also obstacles are also blessing in disguise, and some karma binding us. That's it. So a self-realized soul is having a steadiness of the mind. He's not illusioned by the false identification of the body. This symptom is the basis of not rejoicing or lamenting of material dualities. So the mind is stable and fixed for him, and based on the knowledge that he is not this body, but fragmental portion of the Supreme Personality Godhead. Mamevamsho jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana manashasthani indriyani prakritistani karshati. We are part and parcel of Krishna, the spark, right? And it is said unbewildered, not misidentified body as soul, and not taking body as permanent. So that is the symptoms of a grace devotee. Yehi samsparsha jabhoga khayonaya evate adi andavanta kauteya nateshu ramate buddha. An intelligent person does not take part in the source of mystery, which are due to contact with the mystery material senses. O Sanakunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end. So the wise man does not delight in them. Okay, so material pleasures, like how do they catch an elephant in the jungle? How do they catch an elephant in the forest? What do they do? Does anyone know?
They dig the land, Mataji. They are putting.
Supposed to raise your hand. Yes, Lavani
Sorry.
Mataji, you were raising your hand. Can you unmute?
By female elephant, Mataji.
Yeah. So they bring a female elephant and they dig a hole and cover the hole. Mataji was also right. Yes, a pit will be digged and they cover it with grass and everything. And how do the male elephant come through that way? Because they'll bring a she elephant. No, a female elephant will come and he's getting attracted with her. So that's again sense gratification. For a little bit pleasure, he's going behind the female elephant and he'll fall into the ditch. Now, what will happen in a case of a fish? Now you put the fishing net or something, and then you give some food for it. Now, when you go for the fishing, you put some food for it. So just for the sense of taste, it just come up and then gets caught, trapped. And a honeybee also just for the taste of that honey comes and sit in the lotus flower, and the lotus closes and gets trapped. Now there's something called honey trap when a leaf where it just closes when the insect comes and it just eats the insect. So that plant is made like that. So even for some sense gratification, they get trapped. The deers, how do they attract the deers in the forest? You know, how do they trap the deer? Yes, Lavani Mataji.
By pleasant music, Mataji. Some kind of music.
Yes, music. So the deers have nice hearing capacity and nice music will be played by the hunters. And then the deers will get attracted to the ears, the music, and then they come. So you can see different ways. And the moths, the small flies get attracted to the light by the sight of it, and they go and touch it and they get burned and die. So all this is material sense gratification. In the beginning, it looks nice. Such pleasures have a beginning, but then it soon ends and they get trapped. But then a wise man is not getting trapped into such material pleasures, right? Liberated soul is not interested in those material pleasures. Whom do you call as liberated soul? Who's a liberated soul? Does it mean that after birth and death, you get liberated and moksha, Manasvi?
One who is fully detached from materialistic pleasures and one who is fully attached to Krishna consciousness. He is considered as a liberated soul.
Yeah, can you give an example? Ankita Mataji, any example of a liberated soul?
Liberated soul, Mataji, sorry, actually I was answering the first question. It's a person who doesn't run after
example, any example? Yes, Supriya Mataji, any example?
Janaka Maharaj.
Janaka Maharaj, Parikshit. Then
Jada
Bharat.
Sukhdev Goswami, Mataji.
Sukhdev Goswami, yes, he was a liberated soul. Good. Then Prahlad, yes, the 6 Goswamis, great.
Dhruv Maharaj.
Dhruv Maharaj.
Kumaras.
All the Mahajans.
Maharaj Prithu.
Yeah, all the Mahajans. Maharaj Prithu, yes.
Yamraj.
Yeah, so Yamaraj, all they come in the 12 Mahajans. Very good. So all these are liberated souls. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was also
Amrish Maharaj.
Amrish Maharaj, yes. Yes, Amrish Maharaj. So all of them were liberated souls. Why we call them liberated? As Manasi said, they completely detached from Krishna, from material world, completely attached to Krishna. Even though in this material body. What is the example you can think of when I say a liberated soul living in the material world but still detached? Sanjan Mataji.
Mataji's spiritual master is a liberated.
Example, like a similarity, analogy.
Mataji, can I give?
Yeah.
Mataji, once Prabhupada was in the train and when cartoon movie was going on, so all the devotees, they closed their eyes and started to chant, but they heard Prabhupada laughing, and when he saw Prabhupada was actually seeing the cartoon movie, but he was detached from it.
Okay. I'm asking analogy. Analogy means some similarity, comparison. If you give one is, yes, anyone else know? Does anyone know? Okay, like a dry coconut. A dry coconut is within the shell, but still detached from the shell. That means the liberated souls are within the material body. The souls are within the material body, within the material world, but still detached from it, like a dry coconut. You can see, you cannot see the dry coconut outside. It's inside the shell, but it is not getting attached to the shell. At the same time, it is even within the shell. So that's a nice example of a dry coconut that's quoted by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad. Tortoise, yes, that's withdrawing the senses. Yes, Supriya Mataji.
Like the water on the leaf of the lotus
Yes, yes, Padma Patramivabhasha. Yes, very nice. Pampa Mataji. An example, you know.
Mataji, same thing. Mataji, same thing.
Yeah, so that is Padma Patramivabhasha. So even that one. Yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. We can't just compare him to a normal soul. He's super soul himself, no? He's a super soul. Like in Paramatma in everyone's heart. He's Krishna himself. Krishna Chaitanya. Namne Gauradisha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all his associates are all liberated souls. So, yeah, they are interested in material pleasure. So, in order to reach that platform, what we are supposed to do is hear from a self-realized soul. When you start hearing, the more you start hearing, the more you advance in devotional service. The more you advance in devotional service, the more you get detached from material things. The more you get detached from material things, the more you get attracted to Krishna, attached to Krishna. So these are the 4 things. First is hearing from a devotee. Second is you advance in devotional service like that. Third, you get detached from material things. And fourth, you get attached to Krishna. So detachment from material things, attachment for Krishna happens at the same time simultaneously. Okay. So the liberated soul already enjoys unlimited transcendental happiness. So you don't want anything. You don't feel like going for a movie with your friends, not to a mall, a pub. Instead, you feel like going to the temple. That means you're advancing. You can check yourself whether I'm advancing or not. How a jaundice person knows his jaundice is cured? If he doesn't do blood tests and all. How do he himself find it out at home?
He can eat the sugar cane.
It's sweet.
By the taste of tongue, it finds everything bitter.
Yeah, better I don't
find everything bitter.
Because it's becoming confusion. Just raise a digital hand, I can unmute. Okay. Yes, Deepalamaji. So by the taste, so what he do? The sugar cane is given to the jaundice person and he tastes this, and initially it will be. Initially, what happens? Yes, Rajeta Mataji, what happens to the taste?
It becomes very bitter, but slowly, while sucking it, the jaundice goes away. Same thing, the Mahamantra is like that of a sugar candy. Initially, it tastes bitter, but afterwards it becomes sweet.
Yes, very good. So, so we can check ourselves whether jaundice is cured, because initially you start taking the sugar candy, it is bitter, but that's the medicine for jaundice, and then you keep having it. At one moment, you start getting the sweetness. Then you're like, oh, my jaundice is gone. Similarly, you now you're enjoying all material things and everything. But at one point, you understand, I'm not liking this material life anymore. I mean, I don't like to enjoy as I was enjoying before. I'm getting attracted towards Krishna conscious activities. Yes, you're advancing, right? We are somewhere stuck. Okay, you can raise a digital hand. How many of you feel I'm not a pure devotee as well as I'm not a karma? I'm stuck somewhere middle. I'm not feeling like enjoying as my friends are enjoying. I'm not a pakka karmi, but I'm not a pure devotee as well. I'm not able to, I'm not an advanced devotee. I'm stuck somewhere. So you feel frustrated. All of you feel. Others who didn't raise their hand, they are all pure devotees. Huh? So yes, so even I felt the same thing. We are like, what am I doing? I'm not enjoying how my friends are enjoying. I'm not going to getting that taste. Neither I'm a pure devotee. I'm not standing Shuddhana. So I'm stuck somewhere. But don't worry. You're actually progressing towards Shuddhana, or you're progressing towards being a pure devotee. Not in this life, might be some other life. So many lives we have wasted, no? And when we start Krishna consciousness, we don't have patience. We want to be like, I want to become pure devotee. One life I want to go back to Krishna. Right? 84 lakh species of life we wasted, and one life we don't have patience. We want to become pure devotees in one life. Is that possible? It's possible, but by associating with pure devotees and so much sincere effort, it's possible, but not for everyone. No. So what should we do? As Rupa Goswami says, Ulsaha Nishyad Dhairya Tattar Karma Pravartanat Sangatyagat Sadovyati Shadhir Bhakti Prasiddhyati. Ulsaha Nishyad Dhairya, there should be enthusiasm, confidence, and patience. Lot of patience is required in this devotional service. So, okay. So here, Lord Rishabhadev teaches that human life is not to be used for very hard labor, like for sense pleasures, like hawks. Human life should be used for performing penances and purifying the existence. As a result of proper penances, you will enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss. So the more one gets addicted to material pleasure, the more he is entrapped. So what does Rishabhadev say? Naham deha deha bhajam loke kasmat kaman arha devi bhujamye tapo divyam putra kayena satyam ye api sitantra uradham nibanta. Okay. Nayam deha deha bhajam loke kasmat kaman arha devi bhujamye tapo divyam putra kayena satyam chuddhe yasmat brahma saukyam tu anandam. I got confused with the last line. So, first, Supriya Mataji, what is your doubt?
No, Mataji, actually you said, no, like, I'm not a devotee, I'm not enjoying with my friends also. We had a similar discussion in Bhakti Vishta class last time, Mataji. I asked them, they said, we are also in the same.
Yeah, this is our condition, what to do. We are not pure devotees as such, and we are not like karmis also. We are stuck somewhere here. And we're like, what am I doing? I'm not able to advance in devotional service as well as I'm not able to enjoy like the karmis. Yes. So that
being in Bangladesh, Mataji, I don't get that association feeling also. I'll be left here alone. So,
yeah. But you're getting online association.
Online
you are the
association I'm getting.
Bhagavatam class without fail every day.
Yes,
so that's a great thing what you're doing. Nityam Bhagavatam. Yeah.
That's my punya.
Yeah. So in that way, you're getting nice association, at least 1 hour. So everyone can do that. Everyone can, those who don't have association, every day come and attend the early morning Bhagavatam class. There's 5:45 a.m. class or 8 a.m. class. If you can't, at least evening, that is 8:15, there is Chaitanya Charitamrita class by Navanisha Prabhu. Some association should be there every day, not once in a week Bhakti Shastri class. No, every day there should be association. Nityam. Then if you're not able to watch it live, at least watch the recordings. Every day, try to hear 5-10 minutes Prabhupada's lecture also. In that way, you're associating with a pure devotee. Okay. Lord Rishabhadev told to his son, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material body, one who have taken this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hawks that eats too. One should engage in penance and austerities. So what are the penance and austerities a devotee undergo? What are the penances? What? Yes, Kanjan Mataji.
Mataji, austerity of mind is like being showing humility towards others and forgiveness and living simple life, devoted life, and eating always prasadam and not eating more much food that is palatable to your tongue, and speaking always not provoking somebody and speaking always politely to everyone, and all these things comes in austerity, and chanting and giving time to chanting the rounds of holy name of the Lord is also type of austerity. So all this comes in penances and austerity.
Yeah, so in the chat, yes, the most important austerity finances, Hemu Mataji says fasting during Ekadashi and all. Yes. So that is again, and getting up at Brahma Muhurta, even isn't that an austerity? Others are all sleeping, fast asleep. And I'll tell you, the best sleep is during that Brahma Muhurta time. The rest of the time, you are sleeping and all that, fine. But that early morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock, you want to sleep the best. But then you have to get up because you have to chant your rounds. You can't finish otherwise, right? So you get up, you force yourself to get up at 4 o'clock for that, and then take a bath and 4:38 and Mangalati, then 5 to 7 sit and chant. That's an austerity, what you're doing. And also, yes, Hemu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We usually get up at 3:30 for that morning chanting and the morning puja. But usually, normally people say that at 4 o'clock when you dream, it comes true. But we guys are always chanting. For a devotee, there is no such dream that will come true because we are awakened at that time.
Yeah, yes.
So how is it, matlab, because we are chanting, we should not get into that dream zone that you get signals. It is said that you get some kind of a symbol or a sign when you dream at the Brahma Muhurta. But we are devotees who are chanting at that time. So how will we get a sign or a symbol that we are doing something nice or something good is ahead of life?
You don't have to, because Krishna is taking care. Krishna is coming personally and listening to your chanting. What else we need? So for a devotee, everything is taken care by Krishna. That's why devotees, sometimes they don't even go and see the horoscope. Why? Because they know everything has been controlled by Krishna for a devotee. So in that way, so dreams, yes, what if some negative dreams comes? No? But then for a devotee, everything is protected by the Lord. The Lord takes care of everything. So he don't have to be worried. And Krishna, sometimes if you see the dream of Krishna or Prabhupada, then it's very austere. Okay. So by such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. Shaknoti haiva yashodham prak sharira vimokshana kama krodho bhavam vegam sayukta sa sukhi naraha. Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of material senses and check the force of desire and anger, is well situated and is happy in this world. Desire and anger, which is very difficult to control. So there's the forces of the sense, nectar of instruction. The first verse says, Vacho vekam manasa kroto vekam, jihva vekam udara pasta vekam, etan vekan yogishahe dadera, sarvam apimam prithivim sa shishyat. So this is a nice book called Nectar of Instruction. So all of you should have it once you are into Bhakti Shastri. After you finishing your Bhagavad Gita, we'll be starting with Nectar of Devotion, Isha Upanishad, and last book is Nectar of Instruction. It looks very small book, just 11 verses, but very instructive book by Rupa Goswami. So this first sloka says, Vacho vekam manasa kroto vekam. So the first thing to control is your tongue, speech or tongue, then anger, mind, stomach, genitals. So if you are able to control all this, then Sarvam Apima Prithvi Sashishyat. He can have disciples all over the world. He can become a guru. This is the 6 urges to be controlled. So how do you control your tongue? Look in the chat. How do we control our tongue? The best way to control the tongue. Yes. So by eating Krishna Prasad and by chanting, right? So this is the best way to control. There's no other way. And you can glorify devotees, you can do kirtan and all that. It's the duty of the transcendentalist to try earnestly to control desire and anger. Another example which I want to discuss is, just imagine you are a government official and you got a government car for your job. Now, if you use that government car to drop your family at a theater, to the park or to the railway station, you're doing wrong. No, you can't use it for your private things. Then you can use your private car or pull a taxi, call a taxi. But then why do you using the government car? That's for your official use. So similarly, the tongue and oral senses, the eyes, ears, nose, touch, all these are given to us for serving Krishna. But we are serving our senses or material things or Maya. So we are also doing the wrong thing. Okay, so because the senses are meant to serve Krishna, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevana. So it's material desires, if unsatiated, creates anger. Unsatisfied lust create anger. The mind, eyes, chest become agitated. And why should we tolerate? One must practice to control them before one gives up this material body to make steady progress on spiritual path and achieve transcendental bliss. Okay, then till death we need to do this. And how can we remain tolerant? By fixing our consciousness on Krishna. Pleasure of Krishna consciousness combined with conviction that nothing in this world can bring lasting happiness will help us tolerate the pushing of the body and mind. Yo anta sukho antar aramas tatanter jyotirevayah sayogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhuto adhigacchati. One whose happiness is within, who's active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately he attains the Supreme. So we should be happy with it. Everybody is searching out for happiness. Everyone, right? There's a story where Indra became a hog, a pig, and Indra was in the pig's body and he was eating stool and muddy things and with his family. And then Narad Muni went and called him back. Indra, what are you doing? Come back to Indra Loka. You have a lot of other works to do. So he's like, I'm happy here in the hog's body. So this is what our situation is. In material life, we feel, oh, even if it's temporary, we feel this is real happiness, but that's not the real happiness. The real happiness is in Brahma Bhuta state. Brahma Bhuta prasanna shochati na kamshati samasarveshu bhuteshu matbhakti labhate param. So that's a liberated platform to enjoy happiness by factual experience within and no longer interested in material external happiness. One must get a higher taste. How is it possible? Did you purposely cut down your friends? Did you purposely cut down all the engagement? No, it will automatically happen. Why? Because getting a higher taste. We need to hear, chant, and have good association. This we have to do. The ABCD. A for association, B for books, C for chanting, and D for diet. Otherwise, we'll be unable to tolerate the urges of the senses over time. So once I was hearing Prabhupada's lecture, Prabhupada says Krishna had 16,108 queens. And when Narad Muni went, he's in Dwaraka, he saw Krishna in every palace, right? He was with Satyabhama, Rukmini, and everywhere. Another person in this material world, Prabhupada says he had 160 wives, 160, and he could go to one's wife's house once in 6 months. Now, first he goes to the first wife's house, then second day to second wife, third wife, and when he goes to the 160th wife, it will be like 6 months over. Then he'll go back to the first wife after 6 months. So that means they are trying to copy Krishna, but they can't satisfy everyone. Krishna was not like that. And we should not pull Krishna in this material platform. It's not a bodily relationship which Krishna had, because they are transcendental, right? But then we try to pull Krishna towards us, towards our platform. Labante Brahma Nirvanam Prashya Kshina Kalmasha Chinna Dvaida Yadatmana Sarva Bhuta Hide Radaha. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged with it, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are freed from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. So what should we do? Fixing our mind in Krishna, and then always working for the welfare of other living entities means Paropakar. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Bharat Bhumile Manisha Janma Hoile Yara Janma Sartakari Par Karo Paropakara. Whoever have taken birth in Bharat Varsha in India, what should we do? Janma Sartakari. We should make our life successful and Karo Paropakara. You have to make others' life successful by preaching. This is what we should do. So this is the highest welfare activity, is to revive the forgetfulness of Krishna being the supreme enjoyer, proprietor, and relisher. One cannot engage in such first-class welfare without being liberated and supreme. So what you are supposed to do, you are chanting your rounds, you are studying Bhagavad Gita, you're listening to lectures, you make others, your friends, relatives also come to temple, give them prasad, tell them also the importance of Krishna consciousness. That's called Paropakara. Or preach, or do book distribution. All this is preaching. One cannot engage in such first-class welfare without being liberated. Therefore, only one in full consciousness can perform such welfare. Physical welfare or temporary relief of external body and mind, that's a welfare activity. Why is it imperfect? Because it causes real cause of one's difficulty is forgetfulness of one's relationship with Krishna. That's a real problem. The rest is in the body, the mind is temporary, right? So we should be careful of curing their soul. Kama krodha vimuktanam yantinam yadachedasam abidho dhamma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Okay, so this is about liberation. But a devotee doesn't want liberation. No, he is happy with devotional service. Narayana Parasarvena Kudashana Bipidi Swarga Apavargana Rigeshu Api Tulyartha Tarshinaha. A devotee is not worried whether he's in heaven, hell, or he got moksha, because he's happy with devotional service. And he doesn't see any difference between them, and he doesn't hate anything. So Krishna conscious person is the best of all self-trust, because effective control of the senses is done by focusing on the lotus feet of the Lord, which uproots all deep-grown desires of fruitive activities. So what the analogy of meditation? Prabhupada speaks about a tortoise, fish. Does anyone know? A bird. How do they grow, take care of their young ones, children? What does a tortoise do? How do the tortoise make the child grow? Yes, Rajeta Mataji.
The tortoise actually buries once it lays eggs, it buries them under the sand dune. And when the tortoise sees danger, so it hides under his shell.
What? It lays the egg on the land and?
No, not on the land. Actually, it lays its eggs into layers in a sand dune.
Yeah, sand. That is land only, no sand. And then what it does? How does it make it grow?
So it leaves the eggs for some time and it lets them hatch on its own. That's what I know.
I'm asking what is given in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Is Kanjan Mataji?
Mataji, I'm just telling in the purport that it is given that tortoise mainly meditates on the eggs.
Yes.
Living in the water, actually tortoise lay eggs on the land, but
Yes.
living in the water, he meditates upon it.
Yes.
Similarly, a Krishna conscious person meditates upon Krishna while Krishna is sitting in his abode, but he can
Yes.
elevate through his thinking by constantly thinking about Krishna and being engaged in the activities of Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, this is the right answer I was looking for. See, when I ask these questions, this should be from the purport, not what we think. Prabhupada says, you can think so many things. So you can say, I think, they think, everyone's thinking is different. But what Krishna thinks or what is the Acharya's thoughts, that's what we should write. If this question comes in Bhakti Shastri exam, the analogy of a tortoise, here it is mentioned, the tortoise brings up its offering simply by meditation. The eggs of the tortoise are laid on the land and the tortoise go back to the sea and meditates on the eggs while in the water. Just by meditating on the eggs, the egg hatches. It doesn't go and it doesn't touch the eggs. It just lays the eggs on the land and goes to the water, the sea, and then meditates on the egg. The fish brings up its offspring simply by looking. The fish lays the eggs in the water and then just look it and then meditate on it. And the birds also maintain the offering by touching. So similarly, a devotee in Krishna consciousness, though far away from Lord's abode, can elevate himself to that abode simply by thinking of Krishna constantly, by engagement in Krishna consciousness. Even though we are not in Goloka, we can think about Krishna, right? And we can become Krishnatized. Another example is a caterpillar. A caterpillar can keep thinking to become a butterfly in this life, and it becomes a butterfly. Similarly, you keep thinking of Krishna, manmana, bhavamat pattu, matyajima, namaskuru, manmana. Always think of Krishna by chanting the holy name and associating with devotees and reading Shastras and everything. Then we can also get connected to Krishna, or our consciousness get elevated. So this is an example. This can come as a Bhakti Shastri question. Brahma Nirvana is a state of absence of material miseries due to being constantly immersed in the Supreme. Supposed to read and come so that it's easy to discuss. Chakshushchaivantare bhruvo pranapana samokrita ashabhyantara charina yedendriya manobuddhir munirmoksha parayanaha vigatecha bhayakrodho yatsada mukta eva saha. Shutting out all external sense object, keeping the eye and vision concentrated within the two eyebrows, suspending inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. Transcendence, aiming at liberation, become free from desire, free from anger, and one is always in that state is certainly liberated. Okay, so that's how a person gets liberated. The transcendent position of liberation is the Supreme. That is, one understand one's spiritual position. What is our real position? Jivera Solobhai, Krishna Nityadas, we are servants of Krishna, and that of the Supreme Lord, and is qualified to feel the presence of Lord everywhere. Such a pure devotee can see Krishna everywhere and become free from all fear, desire, and anger. Why? Because Krishna is taking care, right? And control the sense, mind, and intelligence. He feels the presence of Super Soul in every situation. And a Krishna conscious person, being always engaged in devotional service, does not risk of losing his senses to some engagement. Better way of controlling the senses than Ashtanga Yoga. And Krishna consciousness is a form of yoga. Yoginam api sarvesha madgadenandaratmanam shraddhavan bhajate yomam sameyukta tamo madaha. Out of all the yogis, the best yogi is Bhakti Yogi. And for a Krishna conscious person, senses are compared to what? What is the senses of a Krishna conscious person, a devotee, compared to? By Srila Prabhupada. Any idea? Senses are compared to? Ankita Mataji.
Mataji, from the Bhagavad Gita, it says when one is well situated in devotional service, once one comes to the transcendental position, qualified to feel the presence of the Lord in the sphere of one's activity.
I'm asking, where did you hear my question? My question is, what is the senses compared to which animal? Manasvi?
This Mataji.
Yeah, Neha Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, senses are controlled compared with the tortoise.
That is withdrawing the senses. A devotee don't have to withdraw the senses such. Rachita Mataji?
Our senses are like that of poisonous snakes.
But for a devotee, it's like?
Yeah, okay, he is like the snake charmer to those poisonous snakes.
Whose poisonous teeth is taken away. Okay. Yeah, senses are compared to the horse of the chariot. That is, yes, that's also there. The horses, it's compared to a horse. When you see the chariot, the body, and the five senses are the five horses, right? Yes, that's also there. And this is the, who's this? Vipali Mataji, yes. A snake without the fangs or the poisonous teeth, right? So what happens? The senses are compared to the snakes, and then as I said, yes, the snake charmer can charm it, but still, even the snake charmer can get bitten by this poisonous snake, right? But for a devotee, the senses are like the snake whose poisonous teeth is taken away. What will happen if the poisonous teeth is taken away? It is not poisonous anymore. It's not dangerous. You can play with it, right? Even though it bites, it doesn't take your life. So that's what the sense control happens. So this is the last sloka and very important sloka, the peace formula. Voktaram tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram supudam sarvabhutana nyatva mam shanti prachati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerity, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. So three things are the peace formula. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Krishna is the supreme controller. He is our only well-wishing friend. Only. Nobody else. Why do we say Krishna is our only well-wishing friend? Okay, I'll unmute everyone. Like a brainstorming session. Why we say?
Mataji, because now nobody's that to help us, because we change body, soul change body. Because Krishna is always with us as the super soul.
Yes, so that is one thing. Krishna is a super soul.
He is very merciful.
Very merciful to the living entity. Yes, that's why he's our best friend. And what's the
in the material world, everyone is selfish and self-centered.
Yes.
And that friendship or any relation is temporary. But with Krishna, that relation is permanent. And he does only well-wisher.
Yes. Is there any other reason why we say Krishna is our only well-wishing friend? What does the so-called friends in the material world do, which Krishna doesn't do to us?
Krishna doesn't cheat us, but the friends will cheat us.
They give us false hopes.
No, that's the real answer, Prabhu. Yes, Krishna doesn't cheat us. Krishna will never cheat you, but the friends might cheat you, because that's one of the defects. The conditioned soul have 4 defects, right? Imperfect senses, illusion, common mistakes, and propensity to cheat others. That's normal in a defect in a conditioned soul. But Krishna is not a conditioned soul. He's not conditioned by the 3 modes. He's liberated. He is Satchidananda. So he, other liberated souls like spiritual masters, never cheat us. There are so-called bogus gurus who cheat the disciples, which is not right. But then the real spiritual master who comes in a bona fide spiritual succession, Krishna never cheats us. Karma yoga is action in full knowledge. It's a practical application of Krishna consciousness. Pure soul is the eternal servant of God as fragmental part and parcel. And cause of our suffering is because we are contacting Maya. Why we are suffering? Because we are forgetting our relationship with Krishna. Okay, and arousing of spiritual experience in the material world is Krishna consciousness and brings us to the spiritual life. And Lord is not partial to anyone, it reciprocates according to how we approach. So Ashtanga Yoga is automatically practicing Krishna consciousness. So we don't have to practice yoga system separately. And the highest perfection of life is only devotional service can attain peace. So that's a peace formula. I'll go to Srila Prabhupada. So here today, no breakout room. We just was trying to complete the chapter. So this is the peace formula. Peace formula means Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Krishna is the supreme controller, and he's our only well-wishing friend. If you know this, then there is real peace. Then there is no fight. Why we say real peace? Because Prabhupada says, if we know Krishna is the real proprietor, that means this property, before I was born, it was there. And after I die, it's still there. So does the property really belongs to me? To the Lord. Ishavasimidam sarva. Everything belongs to Lord and it has to be used in Krishna service. If everything is used in Krishna service, then that is called the highest perfection. Okay. So as eternal servant, so what is the Sambandha, Avideya and Prayojana? We discussed that. Sambandha, Avideya and Prayojana. Does anyone know? What is Sambandha? What is Avideya and what is Prayojana? Yes, Supriya Mataji.
Sambandha means the relationship with the Supreme Lord, Mataji.
Yes. What is our relationship with Krishna? Okay.
Abhideya is what is the process to reach Krishna, that is the devotional service.
Yes.
And goal is the to be connected with the Krishna, Mataji. That is like a self-realized, like we know in full knowledge what is Krishna, and reaching him is the goal.
Yeah, so that means Krishna Prem, right? That's
Yes,
the goal.
the love of Krishna. Yes,
love of Krishna. So so we should know three things: Krishna Sambandha, Bhakti Avideya, and Prema Prayojana. Okay, it's an easy way to remember. So Krishna Sambandha means what is my relationship with Krishna. Then Bhakti Avideya, Bhakti is the process, and Prema Prayojana. Prema is the goal of life. Yes. Neha Mataji, you have a question? So I hope all of you have marked your attendance. Yes, Mataji, you have a question?
No, Mataji.
Okay, Manasi.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes,
I have a question. How to control our desire and anger, and we should motivate that one for Krishna.
Yeah, so that's the most difficult thing because it is said, Prabhupada says, anger cannot be stopped, but it can be used in Krishna service. In the sense, if somebody criticizes the devotee, somebody criticizes Krishna, the Lord, then we can blaspheme the Lord. We can always show transcendental anger. Otherwise, if it is said also, the best way to control anger is at that time go and clean the temple, clean your kitchen or clean your house. Now what do? We are so angry, so much force you clean, and all the impurities get washed away. So that's one thing. And desires, when we have a desire, we should really think, do I really want this, or can it be used in Krishna service? So in that way, only a stone cannot have desires. Prabhupada says all of us have desire. But this desire should be used in Krishna service, right? Should be purified. That's it. Slowly, slowly it will come. Initially, it is difficult, Mataji. But then as we practice Krishna consciousness, slowly as we become detached from material things, then the desires also get controlled. Okay. Okay, I'll unmute everyone. If anyone have any questions. So we have finished 2 open book assessment. Now after 6th chapter, we'll have a closed book assessment. There'll be 10 questions. You can answer any 8, and then short questions, 3 to 4 lines, 5 marks each. And there'll be sloka competition also. The sloka recitation also should be done. Okay. Because of Chaitanya Charitamrita class, we are not able to do sloka now, Manasvi. Because the class starts. That's okay. But others can practice sloka. You can come and chant at least 3 or 4 slokas, which you know, with translation. Okay. Yes, Sumit.
Mataji, we do the Bhakti Vrikshas, also we do the shlokas.
That's good. Bhakti Vrikshas can do. Yes, Sumit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, when the sloka recitation will be happening? In fact, before the closed assessment?
No, after the closed book. Actually, today is 28th. So I'll take 1 more month for chapter 6. Not 1 month. Might be 3 classes. So 7th, 14th, 21. So might be March 28th. Towards the end, the last week of March, we can have a closed book. And next week, we can have sloka. Okay. After the closed book.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The closed book assessment, how long it will be?
45 minutes maximum. You can come at 7 o'clock Tuesday and then 45 minutes. The questions are given in the question bank. Did I share it, Manasvi? The question bank? All the 6 chapters, questions.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So you just go through only the closed book, okay? Short questions you prepare and only that will come, closed book. And 45 minutes. So maybe 7:45 you can finish. You can upload. Yes.
And how many questions, Mataji?
8. You'll be 10 questions, but you just have to answer any 8.
Mataji, sloka recitation is like without seeing the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to memorize the sloka and just come and chant the sloka, and the translation may not be as in the book. Whatever you understood from the sloka, you can just say. Okay.
Mataji, will it be online like the way we had for IDC?
Yeah, online. Okay. It will be online. All your videos should be on. And even sloka will be 1-to-1 online. Zoom.
So the shloka recitation will be like in a group, like we're having together. The Zoom meeting will call individual people, then they'll recite the shloka to you, then they will leave. Will it be like that?
Sometimes it will be like that, or in the group. It doesn't matter, no?
Okay, Mataji. Mataji, after
Mataji, the questions are from the handbook.
Yeah.
From the handbook. The
handbook, only very less questions are there, but better go through the question bank. Okay.
Mataji, do we get
where are they, Mataji? I didn't get it.
There's a question bank which Manasvi, can you reshare it in the group?
Yes, Mataji, I'll reshare it.
Yeah, so that all of you just go through the questions. Just 1 more month time. And slokas, write in a small notebook the slokas. Hear the audio every day, try to understand the meaning, then it's easy to recite. Okay, initially it looks very difficult, but don't worry. No, the certificate is only after completion of the whole course. And this will be given from Mayapur Institute, not by ISKCON Mangalore. It will be from, we are taking exam from Mayapur. So after each unit, there is no certificate. Because Bhakti Shastri is a course of 4 different books. So all the books have to be completed. Okay. Yes, Manasvi?
Mataji, for sloka recitation competition, we have to even say the translation, Mataji?
Yeah. Along with the sloka, along with translation. And the translation, that's what I said, need not be word to word as in the book. Whatever you understood, you can just translate. Otherwise, it'll be like mugging up the translation. Yes, Supriya Mataji.
Sorry, Mataji. Mataji, for this sloka competition, you will give the sloka number and we have to say it on...
No, you can say the sloka, whichever you know.
Okay, from 3 to 4.
Maybe 3 is enough. 3 slokas, whichever you know, you just recite. That is from Manasi, just share it again. The sloka for memorization, no? There's a PDF. 1 to chapter 6, all the chapters is there, but 1 to chapter 6, whichever sloka is to be memorized, try to memorize it, and 3 slokas, okay?
Okay.
Marks is out of 10 for slokas, 3 slokas. 3 marks each for slokas and 1 is for fluency. Okay. Okay. Yes, Sumit Prabhu.
Mataji, I really struggling a lot actually to remember the slokas for knowledge perspective, not just actually for the exam. Like 3 slokas is very easily can be remembered, but for a knowledge perspective, whatever the important slokas we should be memorizing. Is there actually any way or technique which you can suggest, like how to memorize? Because obviously keep hearing and keep reading, that's okay, but we lose the track and that doesn't work. To be very honest, I keep distracted with a lot of other things. So that's where the challenges are. Do you have any suggestion?
No, that's what I do. Then my friends, they used to keep a ringtone or a caller tune, alarm tone with the slokas. that side it works. But then most of them, I have a notebook with me always where there's a sloka. And yes, as you say, sometimes we are very busy. We don't even go through the sloka. At least in your phone, take a screenshot and keep. And whenever you're busy or free, then you just go through it. That's the only way, Prabhu. Regularly going through the slokas is the best way to learn it. Otherwise, and then don't force your mind to learn some slokas will be like doesn't even enter your thing. Just leave it. right? Try to understand the meaning. And then other slokas, which is very used for preaching purpose. Prabhupada says totally, if you know 30 slokas in Bhagavad Gita, you can become a nice preacher. So as you said, for our own purpose and for preaching, yes, all the slokas are important actually. But then the best way is repeating it again and again, hearing the audio. That's what we do. And every day as you're chanting, one devotee suggested is after every round, chanting, after every 108 times of chanting, after one round, she recite the sloka. Not every sloka, whichever sloka is supposed to learn, and then start chanting the second round. And so that means 16 times you repeat the sloka. And if you're doing it in Brahma Muhurta, it just enters. You will never forget. So that's one way. But if you feel that's kind of distracting from your Harinam, when it's doing the Harinam, then it may not work on you. But then this is one way to not make us sleepy also during chanting. And you repeat the sloka so that you don't forget it. Okay.
That's a nice suggestion, Mataji. Really, thank you.
Yeah, that's the way she learns sloka. So that was nice. Even I tried. It works actually. It really works. Okay. Prabhu, Shubham Prabhu.
Mataji, sadhana form is not shared this week, is it?
Not shared. Manasvi, it's not shared. Okay.
Okay, Mataji, I'll share it.
And generally, Mataji, what is happening now? We will not able to remember means what we did in this week, like whether I attended Mangala Aarti on this day or not, or whether I attended Tulsi Aarti on this day or not. So how to do? Because I am doing randomly.
Yeah. Actually, because every day students are forgetting to do it. That's why so many devotees say that every day we're not able to do it, Mataji. That's why we made it once in a week. So whatever you remember, you do it. That's okay. Just that we need to know whether you're following it. At least you remember, okay, twice a day I did, thrice a day. The days, it's okay, even if it's getting confused. Okay.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Rachita